Have you ever been at a party, surrounded by people, and suddenly felt a wave of emptiness? Maybe you had to hide in the bathroom just to breathe. Now, contrast that with a Friday night spent totally alone. No noise, no expectations. While the world calls that lonely, you feel more alive than ever. Being alone does not feel the same to every brain. Today, we're looking at why your need for space isn't a flaw, it's a superpower. We live in a world that treats alone time like a massive red flag. If you aren't out there networking, socializing, or performing for the digital world, people start to worry. But psychology makes a distinction that society constantly ignores. It's the difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is a prison. Solitude is a sanctuary. You see, loneliness is actually a form of psychological trauma. When you feel truly disconnected, your brain processes that emotion in the exact same regions where it processes physical pain. Your dorsal anterior cingulate cortex lights up like you've been physically struck. To your brain, social rejection is a wound. But solitude? Solitude is a deliberate choice. When you choose to be alone, your brain doesn't trigger the pain centers. Instead, it switches off the fight or flight response. It lowers your cortisol levels. It calms your nervous system. For some people, quiet isn't the absence of sound. It is the presence of internal peace. If you crave it, you aren't running away from the world. You are running toward your own balance. So why do some of us crave this while others run from it? It comes down to how your internal processor is wired. Imagine your brain is a computer. For some people, social interaction is like running a simple background app. But for you, it's like running 50 high-definition tabs at once. Every time you are in a room with people, your brain is working overtime. You're reading micro-expressions, you're filtering the hum of the air conditioner, you're navigating the unspoken tension in the group, you're absorbing other people's emotional energy like a sponge. For a deep-thinking mind, interaction isn't just fun, it's sensory overload. When you retreat to your room and close the door, you aren't avoiding life, you are regulating your nervous system. That massive sigh of relief you feel when you're finally alone, that is your brain finally being able to catch its breath. It's the sound of your internal processor finally cooling down.
Let's dismantle one of the biggest myths in psychology, the idea that being an introvert means you are shy. Introversion has absolutely nothing to do with your social skills. You can be the most charismatic, well-spoken person in the room and still be a massive introvert. Introversion is about where you get your fuel. Extroverts are like solar panels. They need the sun of other people to charge up. If they stay alone too long, their battery dies. But if you're an introvert, you're like a high-end battery. You charge when you're plugged into your inner world. When you're around people, you're using your energy to power the room. When you're alone, you're restoring it. The psychologist Carl Jung believed that solitude was essential for anyone who lives a deep life. He argued that without it, we lose our sense of self. We become just a reflection of what everyone else wants us to be. So, if you're internally fueled, stop trying to charge yourself with other people's energy. It's like trying to put diesel in an electric car. You'll just burn out. We are living in the noisiest era in human history. Notifications, comparisons, constant streams of data. Our brains were never designed for this level of exposure. We are constantly on, constantly reachable, and constantly being stimulated. In this world, choosing solitude isn't just a personality trait. It is an act of rebellion.
Choosing to be quiet is a radical protection of your mental health. It gives your brain the rare gift of nothingness. And it's in that nothingness that your best ideas, your deepest healing, and your true voice actually live. Quiet isn't the absence of sound, it is the presence of clarity. When you stop listening to the noise of the world, you can finally hear the sound of your own intuition.
If you enjoy being alone, I want you to understand this. You are not antisocial. You are not weird. And you are certainly not failing at life. Your mind is simply wired for depth instead of noise. The danger isn't being alone. The danger is letting the world convince you that you shouldn't be. Healthy solitude heals. It's where you process your trauma, where you plan your future, and where you find your strength. Forced isolation harms, but chosen solitude empowers. Know the difference and own your need for space with zero apologies.
Understanding your own mind is not a form of isolation. It is a form of intelligence. When you stop fighting your nature, you start finding your power. Next time you feel that pull to step away, to go quiet, to just be, listen to it. Your brain will thank you for it. If this resonated with you, drop a yes in the comments and tell me what is the one thing you've discovered about yourself only in the quiet.